Welcome to another episode of Candid Conversations, hosted by yours truly, Tech Coach Rob, where we are engineered to win. In today's episode, I want to talk to you about what I see is your biggest challenge to progressing and to landing the position that you say that you want to land. I know some people, they're going through boot camps, they might be part of a coaching group, they might be trying to self-learn, so many different things, right? But they just can't seem to, quote unquote, find a break, right? And what is that break? You know, people talking about, breaking into tech. And one thing that I see from people who are able to successfully break into tech versus the people who are still struggling is, I'm going to let you know as soon as I say this. If you haven't done so already, do me a big favor on your way in, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know every time that we go live. If you need one-on-one coaching, if you need the game plan and the strategy to help you get into that next position, maybe break into tech, whatever terminology you want to use. I don't particularly use break into tech, but if you want to get assistance getting into your first tech field, or maybe you're already in tech and you're looking to grow, then go to techcoachrob.dev, get access to exclusive content as well as have the opportunity to sign up for one-on-one coaching where we can work together. I can break down what you're doing wrong, help you modify that strategy so that you can do better. And hopefully from there, you can actually land the position you want to land, all right? But let's get back into it. What is the problem that I see that 99.9% of the people that I come across have? Some of them I'm even coaching, some of them I'm not. But the problem that I see is we might do a decent job at learning the preliminary skills that we need, but for the most part, the biggest problem that I see is that you do not want to market yourself properly. I don't know how many times I've spoken about resumes being so bad, and I have even in the Patreon, I went live and I updated my resume so you can see how I modified it, right? And even with that, even saying, just look at my resume, watch this video, people still make the same mistakes on their resume. They don't show the value that they bring. They just it's just a task list, right? And I always say, like, you have to show the value that you bring. You have to use the tools at your disposal in order to show to the company, to the recruiter, to the hiring manager, what can you do for this company, right? So that's one thing. The other part is, like, people honestly fail to market themselves. They don't show off what they know how to do. Like, they want to do some type of project, but then they don't really show it off. They don't market it. And I think that is one of your biggest problems, is your lack of marketing. To me, that's the biggest. There's another problem that we'll touch, right? But to me, that is the biggest problem, is that you do not market yourself effectively. The first impression, there's two first impressions, right? One first impression is your resume. If they look at your resume and in that very first line, the summary, the highlight, the objective, whatever you want to call it, if they do not see any potential value that you're going to bring to the company, they're going to move on. They're not even going to look at your skills. If it's totally boring, totally irrelevant, no value, no accomplishments, they're like, all right, cool. Oh, but how come they won't take a chance? How come they won't read it? Because guess what? Number one, nobody cares. Number two, nobody owes you anything. Number three, it's a business. They're looking for the best person to do the job. Even interns, when interns are being given a chance to, intern for the summer or something like that, their resume, their credentials are still looked at. They might not have any serious work experience because, for the most part, they're in college, but they can see what is the person studying, what classes they've taken, what languages they might be learning so far. And so then they might get the interview because they're actually applying for an internship. Now, the problem that a lot of people have who are not in college and do not want to go to college, don't want to go back to school, is that they might be trying to get some internship, or they're going through a boot camp, and they don't properly articulate what skills they might have. And for me, I always say, okay, you have to market yourself. How do you market yourself? I'm not going to give you all the details because I reserve those for the people that are in the Patreon, those that might be coaching. But how do you properly market yourself? Number one, who do you meet with? Are you going to online meetups? Right? Are you making connections with people who are in the place you want to be. I'm not saying that you're going to go to some networking event where like it's like a pyramid scheme where 90% of the people there are begging to get a job where there's nobody there who can actually hire you for a job. Now, I'm not talking about that type of networking. I'm saying getting together with people of like mind. They might not be actually working, but are you able to connect with somebody who is trying to learn, who you can build a project with together and have something out there that shows value? Or are you just like saying, oh, I'm just going to apply for 1 million jobs with no credentials that shows that I'm qualified to do the job? Most people are not qualified to do the job, and they do not put in the necessary time or effort to get the skills to be qualified. So that's the biggest problem, because and how do you market yourself with something that you don't have? Well, I guess you could lie on your resume, but you'll be quickly caught out. Like, just through a regular interview. Like, if you make it to the interview and we start asking you questions and you can't answer those questions, then like you're not going to make it through. I've also seen people who they'll get out of a boot camp and that's it. Now they're just going on a mass application spree. And then they wonder why they're not getting any hits, and then the jobs that they're applying for. Imagine this: finishing a boot camp for like manual testing, or like you just finished for software engineer or a software development, and you don't know much about classes and functions and everything like that. But you go apply for a senior developer role, and then you wonder why people aren't responding to you. Or you go for some senior QA role and you're like, why is nobody responding to me? And you're frustrated. Well, not only did you not properly prepare the skills, you don't know how to look for jobs. You don't know how to apply for jobs. So another top marketing thing after your resume is, how does your LinkedIn look? Do you even have LinkedIn? Oh, I don't use social media. Oh, I have 13 connections on LinkedIn. What? What are you doing? Are you serious? And that's the problem. I do not think people are serious. You are not serious. You just think that because they told you in whatever program that you took that, oh, it's going to be so easy to get a job. Give it like 3 months from your 2-week boot camp, and then you're going to get job offers after job offer, right? But wait, we will also give you an internship. You'll have 100 different people working on this quote unquote internship, writing some test cases or writing some development that nobody's ever going to see. And if they were to see it, they wouldn't give two flying about it. I'm just saying. So, and I hate to be the one to burst your bubble. But you're not doing what you need to do to get to where you want to be. Simple as that. You are not doing what you need to do to get to where you want to be. And guess whose fault it is? It's all your fault. It is all your fault. I'll tell you this. I spoke to someone the other day who they are in a terrible spot with debt, with school debt, and where they're working at currently and stuff like that. And they're desperate to be in another place. And they said, you know what? It is absolutely they absolutely do not want to go back to school. And I'm like, so after so long, I'm like, all right, you've been trying this for so long. Why don't you want to go back to school? Well, because I don't want to go back into some more student loan debt. But to be honest with you, if we waste so much money on useless majors and stuff like that, wouldn't it be beneficial if we at least spend, if we were to go into debt so badly, right, that we don't have anything else we can do? What at this point, what difference does it make if you just add another couple of 10,000s to actually get something that you can use and that will land you a position, instead of being stuck with the debt that we have that you're never going to get something from that? I don't know if that makes sense, but if you're already so buried in debt, maybe you get a little bit more debt that will actually benefit you to get out of that hole that you're in. Sometimes you might have to dig a little bit deeper in that hole in order to be able to dig yourself out of that hole. So but that's the thing, right? But we as people, we want things to be easy. We want things to be handed to us instead of actually putting in the time, effort, and dedication to get to what we want to do. We just want to take these little shortcuts. And don't get me wrong, I think that using online courses is absolutely helpful. But companies, they're not going to value you paying like $10 for an online course and not actually putting any effort in after that. Do they value you paying $10,000 for a boot camp? Not really. Not really. See, what they value is, what have you done? And even more, what have you done lately? You could have done something like 20 years ago, but guess what? Today, right now, nobody cares. Nobody cares. So I ask again, what is it that you are going to do? And I honestly, I believe most people, they're not going to do much. They're just going to keep it to what they've been doing, where they're at. And, I think that you are not putting, all right, honestly, you just don't care. You appreciate having that victim woe is me story, and you're able to share that story with everyone, and they feel sorry for you. So while you do not have much to show, but you do have your victim story to show, and it's unfortunate. It is unfortunate. There is so much that you could be doing, but everyone has excuses. So those, like, to me, you marketing yourself is such a big deal, and it's a problem that people have. I've recommended to people, how can you very specific ways to market themselves so that they can get more visibility, so that they can show that they actually know what they're doing. And guess what? They don't want to do it. So if you're not going to market yourself, why should a hiring manager, why should a recruiter decide to talk to you over the next person who doesn't have any, the next 100,000 people who don't have any experience either? So we're not properly marketing ourselves. We don't know how to look for jobs. We don't know how to interview. We don't know how to do the work that we say we want to do. See, and that is why I keep my coaching group very, very limited, because the things that I do for my coaching group, I cannot do. I just don't have the capacity to do it for everybody. I'll tell you this: the day I'm recording this video, I was on a call that was scheduled for like 30 minutes. I was on there for over an hour, with one of the people that I'm coaching, because they were struggling with writing their automation tests and properly structuring and everything like that. And so we carefully walked through it to figure out all the issues, making sure that they understood what they did wrong so that they can learn it and then they can do better later. Now, within my coaching group, we've actually built an application that is live. They have learned all the ins and outs of using Docker, of how to QA it. Now they're building automation tests. And then we're going to be using a CI/CD pipeline to actually run their automation tests as well. Getting very familiar with Git, with all these different features. But even when you have all of that information, all that knowledge, you still need to be able to properly market yourself. Show the world what you know, because times are different. It's not like you're walking from door to door now with a paper resume. Back in the days when not many people were applying online. Things are different nowadays. And I think that if you refuse to properly market yourself, then you're going to be doomed. If you think you're just going to be sitting and applying for countless job after job after job, you're going to be doomed. I'm sorry to say, but I'm going to be honest with you. So many people that I see, oh, can you do this for me? No, I can't. Oh, can you look at that? No, I can't. Oh, can you talk to me? No, I can't. I have to reserve my time for my tech barbarians, my tech savages, for all my tech savages. Those are who my time is reserved for. But I'll tell you this, if I tell you to do something and you don't do it because God knows what, then that's on you. And that's I don't feel sorry for people, because you'll get so much free. Well, I mean, sometimes free, sometimes not free. But I mean, even the information that I give on the general channel, right? So much advice, and then you just want to do it your way, right? You want to do it your way, and if that's what you want to do, then by all means, go ahead. But the question is, are you in it to win it, or are you in it to feel better about yourself, or are you in it to share your victim story and have people feel sorry for you, and say, oh, you know what? Keep going. Things are going to change, giving you false hope. 90% of things I see is totally false hope. Are you looking for false hope, or are you looking for the truth? Are you looking for the truth? I personally think that you enjoy that false hope and staying where you're at instead of taking risks, putting yourself out there, saying, hey, this is what I know, this is what I can do, this is what I'm confident in. Because if that was the case, you'd be marketing yourself. You'd take the advice on the resume. You would highlight your value. You would express that on your LinkedIn page, because that in your resume is the first entry that people get to see you. You would stop complaining on these social media platforms about, oh, how the job market is so hard and nobody's hiring and stuff like that. And you would just say, this is what I'm learning. This is what I learned this week. You'd have a weekly post or something. This is what I learned this week. Make a video about it. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not gonna give you all of the details, but that's what you would be doing. And then you'd be saying, hey, I worked, like you'd be reaching out to people, following up after you apply for jobs, being very, very structured, instead of a spray and pray approach to the job search. And even if when you land that job, what are you going to do in that role? Because a lot of times you get the positions you want and you're like, oh, I'm backing off now. I got what I wanted. But how do you intend to keep it? How do you intend to grow? See, working in the private industry in tech, it's not like working for the government. If you are costing the company too much money, if you're not adding the proper value, if you're making mistakes, they will get rid of you. See, the government, they'll just keep you forever. Because guess what? It's not the government that's paying. It's the taxpayers that's paying. So I think that you could do better, but it's quite possible that you don't want to do better. What are you willing to do? Are you going to start effectively marketing yourself, or are you going to just continue to do what you've been doing? Some people, they'll keep doing the same exact thing for year upon year, and they get absolutely zero results. They get the same results that they got yesterday, they got the day before and before. I'm curious, what is your plan? What is your goal? I don't know. But if you need help, then hit me up. techcoachralph.dev. You can get access to exclusive content, as well as talk to me one-on-one, sign up for coaching. You know, I can help you build a plan, help you run it up. But if not, then continue doing what you're doing. And good luck. Or not, but it is what it is. So anyways, I'm going to wrap it up. This has been another Candid Conversation. If you haven't done so already, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know every time that we go live and drop new content. Like I said earlier, go to techcoachralph.dev, check out the different plans, the different coaching. Hit me up. We can have a consultation and I will steer you in the right direction. But that is it. If you like the merch, go ahead and click on the link for the merch. Check it out. Hopefully you find it helpful and inspiring and all that cool stuff. But with that being said, I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of Candid Conversations. This is Tech Coach Ralph. We are out.
If you enjoyed the fascinating information shared in this video and you want more, be sure to hit the subscribe button to Tech Coach Ralph to be notified for new videos.